Hey guys, I am Rishabh. Welcome to my channel. So in this video we are going to discuss about essentials of NumPy. And by essentials I mean the functions that are most commonly used, which are in the NumPy package. Okay, so now a simple prerequisite for understanding whatever we are going to discuss in this video is that you need to have a basic understanding of Python. If you don't, I suggest you look on YouTube. There are ample number of videos. Okay, and with every such video we will be moving one step forward in our path to learn data science. Okay, so without further delay, let's start. First I'm gonna add a title so it becomes clear. So for that I'm gonna create a markdown cell, and then I'll simply write the name inside an h1 tag. And then I'll close it. And then to run a cell, we click Shift plus Enter. Okay, so now this is done. Now the first thing to import to use a package is to import it. So for importing, I'll write import numpy as np. So as np means I am giving this numpy package an alias name as np. Okay, so this is done. Now you can see it is a star over here. That means that cell is still running. We need to wait until some number appears over here. Okay, so once this is done, we are good to proceed. So now the first thing that we are going to see is how to create a numpy array. Okay, so if you don't know what is numpy, so numpy is a package in Python for mathematical computations. Okay, so let's see how to create an array. Creating an array. So simply we give the variable name, then we write np dot array. Okay, then inside quotes, inside parentheses, we give the list of numbers. So I'm gonna say 1 2 3. Okay, then let's print a. So now to print, you can either write print and then inside parentheses a, or simple a, but this will work only in the case of Python notebook. Okay, so now if I press enter, we get an array of type 1 of with values 1 2 3. So now you can see this is a 1D array. So creating a 1D array, I'm sorry, creating a 1D array. Now let's try creating a 2D array or a matrix. Okay, I'm sorry, creating a 2D array. So for that we write a is equal to np dot array, then inside parentheses we give a list, means we open a list, and then inside this we open another list. Okay, and then over here we give the values for the first row. Okay, so I'm gonna give 1 2 and 3. And then after that we open we give a comma and then open a separate list, and that is gonna be the second row. So let's say this has values 4 5 and 6. Now if you want more rows than that, then you can simply give a comma and keep on adding. Okay, now let's print and see. So you can see we get an array. We got a matrix with 2 rows and 3 columns. Okay, so as we expected over here. So now we know how to create an array, but suppose we have a array and we don't know its dimension. Okay, so in those cases what we can do is we can use another function of numpy that returns us the dimension of an array. Okay, so for that I'm gonna write first add a comment, getting the dimension of an array. So I'll simply write a dot endim. Now over here we need to keep in mind that we need to keep in mind that a needs to be a numpy array variable, and then if we add endim to it, it prints the dimension. So you can see the last value stored in a was a 2D array, that is why the endim value is 2. So this is working fine. Now suppose if we want to know the number of rows and column, then we have another function in numpy. So let's see that. Getting number of rows and columns. So for that we write a dot shape, and we get 2 comma 3 as in 2 rows and 3 columns. Okay, so I hope everything till this point is clear. Now let's see a few different methods to create an array which are more flexible than this method of creating an array. Okay, so let's see. So the first method is using a linspace. Okay, so linspace as in linear space. It creates an equally distributed array with fixed number of values. Okay, so let's see how it works. A is equal to np dot linspace. Okay, and then we write 0 comma 1 comma 6. So what it is gonna do is it is gonna create 6 values starting from 0 till 1. Okay, so let's print it and see. So you can see we get an array over here. It starts from 0, that is 0, 0.0, then 0.2, 0.4, 0.6, 0.8, and finally 1. And if you count it, this is gonna be 6 values. So you can see we got a array so easily. So add a comment over here, creating numpy array using linspace. Okay, now after this another method to create the array is called arange. Okay, so for that I write a is equal to np dot a range. Okay, and then we write 1 comma 10 comma 2. So what it is gonna do is it is gonna start from 1, and then the next value is gonna be plus 2 the previous value, means the 2 is the step size. Okay, so let's see what is the output, and you can see it starts with 1 because that is where we told the compiler to start from. Then after that it adds 2 to it, we get 3, then 5, then 7, then 9, and now if we add 2 to 9 we get 11, which is beyond the limit that we asked, so it stops here. Okay, so this is the most common used method to create a numpy array. Okay, creating a numpy array using arange. Okay, now there are different other types of array, so we will see those. Now suppose I want to create an array with all the values as 1. Okay, so we can do that. We simply need to write a is equal to np dot ones as in ones, and then we give a parenthesis, and inside parenthesis we give a tuple. The tuple needs to have 2 values as in the row value and the column value. Okay, so suppose I want a matrix of 2 cross 3, that is 2 rows and 3 columns, so I will give 2 comma 3 then a, and over here you can see we got the output as a matrix with 2 rows and 3 columns and all the values are 1. Now similarly we can do for 0. So for that we write a is equal to np dot zeros, and now suppose I give 2 comma 2 over here. Let's see, sorry, I need to print it. So over here we get an array with 2 rows, 2 columns, and all the values are 0. Okay, so these are the methods where you can create an array with a single type of value. Okay, now the next thing is to create an identity matrix. Okay, so by identity matrix what I mean is that only the diagonal elements will have value 1 and all the other places will have value 0. Okay, so let's see. So for that we write a is equal to np dot eye and then 3. So over here 3 means we are gonna get a 3 cross 3 matrix. Okay, so let's see. So you can see we got 3 rows and 3 columns, that is 3 cross 3 matrix, and only the diagonal elements have the value 1 and all the other elements have the value 0. Okay, so this is how we get an identity matrix. But what if we want an identity matrix with a different number of rows and columns? So let's see how to do that. So for that we write a is equal to np dot I, and then inside parenthesis we give a tuple, that is the number of rows and columns. So let's say 2 comma 3. Okay, so oh, I'm sorry, we don't need to give a tuple over here, we just need to give two values. So now over here you can see we got the identity matrix like this. The diagonal elements have 1 and all the other elements have 0. Okay, so let's add comment to this. Okay, these two are same. So I always recommend you comment your code so that once you look at it after some time, you are able to understand what is written. Okay, and you don't get confused. So now over here we have seen how to create an identity matrix, but what if we want to create a diagonal matrix? So a diagonal matrix means that only the diagonal elements will have value and not necessarily 1, and all the other elements will have value as 0. So let's see how to create that. So for that we write a is equal to np dot diag, and then we give a list as input, and the values we give over here are gonna be our diagonal elements. So let's say I give 1 2 3 4 5. Sorry, I need to print it. Yes, so you can see we got an array of 5 cross 5 because the length over here is 5. Okay, and only the diagonal elements have the value 1 2 3 4 5, which is the values in the list. Okay, so this is how we create a diagonal matrix. Now let's see how to create a random matrix. Create a random array. Okay, so for that what we write is a is equal to np dot random dot rand, and then over here we give the number, that is the number of values that we want in the array. Okay, now let's print it. So you can see we get 4 values over here. Okay, because the input over here is given as 4. Okay, now suppose you have a numpy array and you want to know the data type of all the values inside it. So what we can do is we can simply write a dot d type. Okay, where a should be a numpy array. So this will give us the data type of the values. Returns data type of values of the array. Okay, and over here you can see it is returning float 64, which means the data type is of float and they are taking 64 bits. Now we can also typecast the data type in an array. Okay, so let's see how to do that. We simply write a is equal to np dot a range. We have seen this to create a numpy array 10, and then comma I write int 64. Okay, so over here you can see I am writing 10 comma int 64. Okay, I'm sorry, over here I need to write a d type is equal to int 64, so it is a named parameter. Okay, so the last time when we saw a range, over here you can see I am giving 3 values, that is the starting value, ending value and the step size, and over here I am giving just one value. So what will happen is that the starting value will be by default 0, the ending value is gonna be 10 because we have given 10 over here, and the step size by default is gonna be 1. Okay, so let's see what is the output. So the output is 0 till 9, means 10 values starting from 0, and the step size is 1. Now what happens if we don't give this d type as int 64? Let's see. Okay, so over here you can see we still get the means array as integer, so that means that dtype int64 didn't have much significance. But now let's try converting this into float and see if that works or not. Dtype is equal to float 64. Okay, so now you can see the array which was originally integer is now converted to float. So this is how you can typecast a NumPy array. Okay, so I hope this part was clear. Let's add comments to it. Typecasting NumPy array. Okay, so now let's see slicing in NumPy array. Okay, so suppose I have a NumPy array like this. I'm gonna copy it, paste it over here. Okay, we have an array. Now let's slice it. So for that I'm gonna write b is equal to a, then 2. So this means starting from the starting of the array and ending at the end of the array, but the step size is 2. Okay, so now let's see what we get. So we get an array of 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. So means it started from 0 and then the step size was 2. So it went to the second value, then again second value until it reached the end. Okay, so this was the very basic of slicing. If you wanna know more about slicing, you can look on the internet. Slicing in NumPy array. Okay. Now what actually happens is that these two variables are sharing memory. Okay, so to check that, let's see. We write np dot shares memory and then the two NumPy variables a comma b, and let's see. Okay, it is shares memory, not shared memory, and it is true. Okay, so this means, okay, let me show you. So suppose this is our RAM. Okay, and now inside this we have the values 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and till 9, and these are the values of our array a. Okay, now what is gonna happen is that our b NumPy array will also be pointing at this value, at this value, at this value, and so on. Okay, so now what is actually happening is that every value has some address. Okay, so suppose this has address as 010, this has 020, this has 030, and up till here as 100. Okay, so now the addresses that a has is addresses that a has is 0, 1, 0, 0, 2, 0 and up till 100. Okay, and the b has 0, 1, 0, 0, 3, 0 and so on. Okay, so over here you can see that the addresses are same. That means they both point to a same location, and that means they are sharing the memory. Okay, so I hope you understand now what shares memory means they both are stored at a single place and both the variables point at it. Okay, so that is what this means. Now to force a copy, what I can do is b is equal to a, then slicing 2 dot copy. So now what this will do is it will force the compiler to copy it to some place else. Okay, now if I get this and then if I try to execute this once again, then this is showing false. So now you understood how it works internally as well. Okay, so now the last thing that I want to discuss in this video is masking. Okay, so suppose I have an array, this is our array. Now I want to have another array that will have only the even values. Okay, so we can use masking for that. Okay, so for that I'm gonna create a mask, and the mask is gonna be r mod 2 needs to be 0. Okay, suppose. not r but a. Okay, a percentage 2 is, it needs to be 0, that means the remainder needs to be 0 when divided by 2. That is the case for every even number. Okay, now we apply this mask to our array. So we write, I'm sorry, we write over here a masked is equal to a mask. Now we simply print a masked, and you can see we get 0, 2, 4, 6 and 8, means all only the even values in this array. Now you can merge these two steps by printing this directly over here and mask. Okay, so this is how we mask a numpy array. Now this not be the condition, there are various type of conditions that you can practically use over here. Okay, so I hope you understood what is mask and what is the meaning of shares memory. So this was for the video. In the next video we will see other essential features of NumPy. Okay, so thank you.